If you are new to print on demand or thinking about starting a print on demand shop, one of the goals I hear a lot is new sellers wanting to make $1,000 a month in sales. Now, this is actually a very doable and realistic goal. And in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I made $1,000 in my first month selling print on demand on Etsy. Now, it definitely wasn't a walk in the park. There are lots of steps that I did to make this a reality. But if that's something that you are willing to work for and you're really excited right now about getting your print on demand shop up off the ground running, this is the video for you. So let's not waste any more time and just jump right into it. So the first thing I should say as a disclaimer about how I made that first $1,000 in my shop is I really took the first 30 days that I was on Etsy to kind of just set up and get everything running. Yes, I did make a few sales in that very first month on there, but really I'm talking about that first month after I was actually established, once I had got my uploads going. So in technicality, this was kind of my second month on Etsy, but basically the first month that I really had things up and going. Now, I knew that there was so much potential to make profit on Etsy. I had previously been selling on a lot of other print on demand platforms, and I'd really been nervous to start selling on Etsy because there was a little bit more work involved. I wasn't really in charge of like customer service. A lot of times the platforms I was selling on, they picked the products that you sold. You just kind of made the designs and the uploads. So I knew when I shifted to Etsy, there were a lot of kind of mindset shifts and daily tasks that I would have to add to my to-do list. So I really put off getting started for way too long. I wish I had it because I realized that Etsy, you could actually make a lot more revenue and profit way faster than you could on these other sites. So by this time I was making good money, good profit on these other sites, but it had taken me a lot of months kind of building that up slowly. And on Etsy, you really could just dive right in and start making a lot of profit. So the very first thing that I did is I integrated my Etsy shop with a manufacturing partner. That's something I hadn't had to do in the past. So today I use Printify as my manufacturing partner. I've used them for a long time. Back then I started out with somebody else, but I really do highly recommend Printify just because their prices are really good and they have a really great turnaround time. So now I love working with them. I'll link them down below in the description. They're totally free to get started with, but it's really important that you pick somebody that has good quality products and prices that aren't too high because that's really going to cut into the profit you can make. Now, another big factor in what was able to help me make a lot of profit in that first month is I got started right around Q4. So I believe it was October when I first got started. So that means that we are leading into those biggest holiday months where people are making so many sales. So if you're watching this right now around the fall time when we're getting into the holidays, this is absolutely the best time you can get started. Do not wait a single day longer. You want to take advantage of all of the momentum around this time of year. Now, if it is another time of year, that doesn't mean that this is not possible, but this is just going to give you a little bit of an edge to actually have more viewers, have more people browsing and buying products. So I know that really probably did contribute to me being able to make a lot of sales pretty quickly on Etsy. Now, the next thing that I did that was very important is I wanted to pick a product that was not only going to be very searched for, but also had a high enough profit margin that I could make a decent amount of profit when I made a sale. So I right away just decided to go with t-shirts and sweatshirts. Those have a pretty good profit margin where you can make between $5 to $10 per sale. And while I do sell things like this now, I didn't get started with like those smaller items like stickers where they are a lot lower priced and there's a lot less profit to be made per sale. And I really only picked 2 items that I was going to go all in on right at the beginning. Now, it's very tempting to see a lot of cool stuff. In fact, Printify has like I think 800 different products that you can sell. And so a lot of new sellers, I see that they're filling their shops up with like 2 mugs and 2 sweatshirts and a few stickers and some tumblers, and they have tote bags and pillows, and they're just getting very spread out. Not only is it taking them a lot of time to get those listings out, but they're not really kind of giving their store enough bulk for them to really get seen and make sales. So I really feel like having a good volume of 1 or 2 types of products is the way to go, especially in the beginning. So I really limited down the number of products that I was going to do, and I knew that was going to help me really get those uploads out. Now, because I had some experience selling in other print-on-demand marketplaces, I really did know that the biggest indicator of how much profit or how many sales you are going to make is almost directly correlated to the number of listings that you have. So I wasn't thinking that I was just going to throw up 1 or 2 products in this Etsy store and I was going to start making a bunch of sales right away. I knew that I was going to have to really, really fill up the shop to be able to start making sales quickly. Now, I was a little bit of an overachiever here, but I knew that if I could get like around 200 listings up on my Etsy store, that was probably going to give me the best chance to make a lot of sales. So I really kind of went crazy with my uploads during those first 30 days. Now, one thing that did help me is since I did have that whole catalog of other products that were selling on other marketplaces, I did kind of have a backlog of designs and I had a lot of information about what sold well on my other platforms. So what niches sold well, what types of products, what designs were doing well. So I did kind of not necessarily cheat, and any of you guys can do this if you've ever sold on another platform, is the very first thing I did is I took any product that had ever made a sale on any other platform, so Redbubble, on Amazon, on TeePublic, on Spring. So I took those designs and I immediately made new listings on my Etsy store with those because they had been verified that people were actually interested in that kind of thing. And then I took note of what those niches were that were doing really well, and I made more and more of those types of products. Now, I was spending quite a bit of time getting all these listings up, and I know uploading 200 products enough might seem like a little bit of a difficult goal to reach, but I just highly recommend picking some number of uploads that you are committed to getting every single day and sticking with that. So maybe that is 3 to 4 listings every single day. If you do that, that is a lot of products at the end of your first month, and that is going to be huge. Now, one of the things that I did to help me be able to get these out faster is I really took advantage of a lot of different templates for making designs if I was making something new. Now, I used a combination of like templates from a design platform. So this would be like on a place like Kittl or Canva. They have a bunch of kind of pre-made designs that you can kind of make a few changes and they become your own. But I also kind of made my own templates. This is something that I really love to do in my own print-on-demand business. I still do it to this day. And that is where I have a design that I have made and it does well. And so I go back to that design time and time again, and I just tweak it for a different niche, for a different phrase. So this could be as simple as just kind of some textured distressed text and kind of just a boxy design. If I know that does really well, I'm going to keep that kind of saved in a place that I can go back to it, and I am going to just make a bunch of different designs in that exact style. So not everything in your shop has to be 100% unique. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. In fact, if you try to, it's probably going to slow you way down. Now, when I first got started on Etsy, I didn't use Kittl yet, but I really wish that I had it because they have templates that are just way better than anything I could probably ever come up with. And they have so many of them. So I'll also link them down below if you want to get started with an account. But I really think that I probably could have got even more listings out that first month if I had a tool like Kittl back then. But the next thing that I did to really help kind of streamline this process, help me get more listings out that first month, is I limited myself to only like 3 to 4 different mockups for every single listing that I did. Now, I know it's really important and I talk a lot about having a unique mockup, but that doesn't mean that every single listing in your shop needs to have a 100% like one of a kind mockup photo. I just mean you need to have a mockup photo that isn't just like a generic one that you pulled from Printify. You want to have something that has a little bit more substance to it. I really like mockups with models in them, so that's what I typically use. But I really had like 3 to 4 different mockups that I would default to putting all of my t-shirt designs, all of my sweatshirt designs on. And I would kind of just like stagger which ones I used in my shop. But what I really found is that most people almost never end up at your actual shop. They go to your listing from search. So like if they searched up funny fishing t-shirt for Father's Day, they're going to scroll through a bunch of different listing options. They're going to click on ones that they like, and they're either going to add them to cart right there, or they're going to keep on browsing. Usually they're not going to click on your shop and look at everything else you have. And that is totally fine because a lot of us have these kind of general shops with all sorts of different niches in them. That's not just tied to one thing. So if they did click on our shop, there's probably a lot of other products that they're not really interested in. They're they're just interested in that one that they clicked on. So what I found is that if you have repeating mockups, most people are never going to see them. And if they do, that's pretty standard practice, even for like big box stores like Target and Walmart. They use the same mockups for a bunch of different products. So I highly recommend picking out like 3 to 4 mockup that are going to be your go-tos, because that's just going to speed up that listing process. So I use Placeit for making pretty much all of my mockups. I'll link them down below too. You can get a free trial that has some really, really great mockups, but just find some and stick to them. Now, the next thing that I started doing is I pretty much ran a sale on my shop every couple of days. So I would either do somewhere between like 10 or 20% off of my store. And I definitely did pay attention to what this would cut into my profit and my sale. So I usually would increase the price of my item when I would list them, just knowing that I'm generally going to be running some kind of sale. And what I like about on Etsy is that it tells your customer kind of how much time is left on the sale. In theory, you could say like, okay, I know I'm going to run a sale all the time. Why don't I just have this sale start at the beginning of the month and end at the end of the month? But that doesn't really create the same kind of urgency as like, oh, there's only 13 hours left on this sale. So I would run a sale about every couple of days. And that just created a little bit of extra urgency, especially around the holiday time. I think that works very, very well. So by the end of kind of that setup month, and I had around 200 listings in my shop, and I had already started making some sales, but really where things took off is in that next month. Now, I was still kind of repeating the exact same process. Once I got 200 listings, I didn't just stop and cut off. I kept uploading and uploading, probably with a little bit less intensity then, but I still was uploading products every single day. But what started happening is that kind of first month I was fully up and running, making sales. I started getting a sale here, a sale there. And then before I knew it, I was making like 1 to 2 sales every single day. And then by the end of that month, I had made over $1,000, which I was super, super excited about. And I knew this was going to just keep building on itself. And that's truly what I really do love about print on demand is it's not like you make $1,000 one month and then the next month you're starting over from scratch. Typically, all of the work that you have done kind of compounds on itself. So if you're able to make $1,000 this month, if you can kind of rinse and repeat that same process next month, maybe the next month you're going to make $1,500 and then you do it again. And then the next month you're making $2,000. And even if you're only increasing your revenue by a couple $100s every single month, if you do that over and over again, think about how much you're making at the end of your first year, as long as you're consistent and doing those uploads. So I want to reiterate again, the biggest factor in if you are going to make like 4 figures of revenue in your first month, in your first few months, has to do with how many listings you get out. So you can spend all the time in the world perfecting your designs, perfecting your SEO, but really what I have found is the key is just more listings. Of course, you want them to be good quality, you want them to be in niches that people are actually looking for. But if you can get just more listings out, that's going to help you across the board. Now, if you feel like you are getting listings out and you're still not making sales, you could be targeting niches that are just way too saturated. So I'm going to link this video here that I talk about my very favorite cross-niching method. It has pretty much grown my entire print-on-demand business. I still use this method to this day. So this is a video that kind of explains it. And down below, I also have a free workshop for you guys that takes you through this entire process. And I'll also send you a free guidebook with over 40,000 different niche ideas that are not oversaturated, that have a really good potential of making sales. So if you want that, you can sign up with your email down below and I'll send all the information over to you totally free. So thanks so much for watching and good luck making your first $1,000 in your shop.